Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, the Droidals Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the Tier 10 Soviet heavy tank, the IS-4. This is a vehicle that keeps coming into popularity and relevance over and over and over again. Back in the day, the IS-7 was always the preferred choice for comp, and then the IS-4 got buffed, and it became the preferred choice. And then the IS-4 kind of faded away as newer tanks were brought into the game, like the 60 TP and the E5 with its DPM, and then it got super speed boost and reactive. But then the E5 got nerfed, and then this tank came back into popularity. But then the IS-4 lost its hit points and faded away. But then it got its hit points back, and then came back. But then the Type 71 came out, and then it went away again, and now the Type 71's getting nerfed, and now the IS-4 is coming back again. I do just find it so funny how this vehicle is very good at one specific thing, and that is being a boss. It has a lot of hit points, a lot of frontal armor, and a really good gun for penetrating your opponents. Sure, it might take a while to whittle them down, but it doesn't really matter because it will always whittle them down. This battle, we have an E100 up against us and a Jagdpanzer E100 up against us as heavily armored vehicles. They also have a Type 71 and a T110E3. And the great thing about the IS-4 is this is one of the few heavies that will have no problem penetrating most likely any of those vehicles as long as my shells land where I want them to. Now, unfortunately, I have teammates, which, well, already are slowing me down a bit, but hopefully we can get into the front line and just chill. Hello, is anybody here? I know that Yags usually like this spot right here. I like this position. I think this one's a bit better, but I guess we'll find out. I'm not going to aim it on that E3 because I know that's just a waste, so I'm just going to wait. This guy's going up, and there you go. Just as clockwork, I predicted that Yag would go right there, and what do you know? it's always that Yag there. Alright, well, the E100 just bled almost all of his health to get into that position, which I do not think was worth it, personally. What do we have? We got the 57 Heavy. Nice shot. I'm actually surprised. Okay, and the E3 is pushing up. I'm going to go for a shell into the 57. Bonk. There you go. The E3 bounced me, which was expected. He had a pretty tricky shot to hit on me there. We're doing pretty good so far. We're just holding off the enemy, making sure they can't do anything, which is usually what you want to do. Unfortunately, it looks like we just overexposed our lower plate there. The problem with this position is I just don't have the gun depression to effectively work it right now, but with the E3 doing that, I was kind of hoping we could connect a shell into his little edge. The E100 is being pushed on, and yeah, I'm going to help out. I'm going to help him out. Move it, VK72, I will help out my E100 buddy. And then actually what I can do here is I can push along the side with this 57, or with this E100, get off towards their side, and this will probably be a pretty easy way to come out with a dub. So, that guy gets cleared. Now we're going to push over here. The Yag is going to push around, but with the amount of pen we carry, it's not much of a threat. The Yag fires an HE, which only does 300 damage. Type 71 is going to try and tunnel my E100, but that shouldn't worry too much. We're going to get a nice slap into his lower plate, and yes, come on. Come on, I'm trying. Oh yeah, look at that. The genius! Now we're going to get a bounce on the lower plate of the Type 71 because for some reason it is incredibly troll. But we're still chilling here. We're doing fine. The Yag poses literally no threat to me. Just going to slap a shell into his lower plate. And this is what the IS-4 is good at. I mean, you don't ever really get a lot of damage in the IS-4. It's just not one of those tanks. But what it's really good at is just driving and winning. And that's what we did in this battle. We drove, and the enemy shot at me a bit, but even getting shot by the E100, even the Yag trying to shoot me, it just doesn't do anything to this vehicle because I still have 1900 hit points left. So we're going to get a nice slap into the side of the E100, and because at this point, I'm not going to go for that E100 anymore, even though he's dead at this point. We're going to give this guy a little love tap. We're going to go for an HE into his rear, a bonk, and that was a nice HE, 557. Maybe we did actually break 3,000 damage. It's pretty close, I would say, if we did or didn't, but it doesn't really matter when driving this vehicle. As I said, the whole point of the IS-4 is just to do things. So there you go, 3,400 damage dealt. Pretty solid victory at that. We really only made one mistake, which was poking that poking, and the E3 was going to be able to shoot us, and same for that E100, but even then it doesn't really matter. Because you have 2,800 hit points with the IS-4, I mean, I can literally get shot by an E3 4 times and still have health left, which is insane when you think about it. But that's just what the tank does. So this battle, we're up against the Kampfpanzer 50-ton, a Boss Shotgun 25-ton, a TVP, a T92, and a WZ-120. Like, what the absolute heck, Wargaming? That is 5 medium tanks. And don't get me wrong, the IS-4 is decent at dealing with mediums, but I would much rather be in a mobile tank myself rather than a vehicle like this to deal with the enemy mediums. But we've got a lot too, so hopefully ours are better, because that is one thing you will not make a huge impression on is the medium flank. The IS-4 is definitely a lot better at dealing with the heavily armored opponents and using the heat and just buttering through them. So I'm just going to try and speed right through. I think this will be a pretty good just push on their team, and I think they'll have a hard time dealing with it. Bit unfortunate that shell missed, but shouldn't matter all too much. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to head straight down here, and, well, TVP's right there. Unfortunately, again, it does not penetrate. I was just kind of hoping that those shells would at least connect a little bit. But at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to send it right behind. And these players are in some serious doo-doo, because they're either going to be flanked from the rear or, yeah, I mean, this is it. They're screwed. These players are all just done for. There goes that guy. Let's get a snap-a-rooney into the bat chat. He's dead, and with that, that's a win. And this is what you do with the IS-4. You just drive. Once again, I probably won't get out a ridiculous amount of damage. And even though the 57 Heavy gets 800 off me, why? Why would you shoot the IS-4? It's got 1,800 health left. This is what I never understand about players, ladies and gentlemen, is when you shoot a tank that is clearly not the big threat. There's mediums next to you, and you shoot this heavy tank that is specifically going to waste your time. Like this 57, sure, he'll probably get a decent chunk off me, but why? But why? That's the best question I can ask. Because now, he just dies. I will always beat him because of how much health I have. So he's dead. Now we got the T92E1 over here. And this guy's next. We're going to reload and get a nice bonker into the side of his vehicle. I'll put on adrenaline. I don't think it's going to make any difference. We've only dealt 1,700 damage this game, and no. I was kind of praying that we'd hit that, but obviously it was too good to be true. Yeah, unfortunately we were not able to get there. But this is what happens when you use the IS-4 just to YOLO. Mediums, heavies, really anything do not stand a chance against this vehicle because you have so much HP. Even if you get tunneled like crazy, it does not matter because you just win. You just win. Now, obviously, I was not the complete deciding factor in that game. My mediums definitely pushed and helped me out. But I'm pretty confident that even if the mediums did not push, we still would have won that battle if I had just been able to do what I did, get behind those mediums and force them to be in an extremely awkward position, and then our mediums over the hill were the drive over. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I just think the IS-4 is always an amazing vehicle. It's not the most fun, it's not the most exciting, but it is definitely the best at just not giving a single crap. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.